There can be many attack scenarios. They can write to you in a private message, posing as a representative of the organization, and promise to resolve all issues. This is fiction. Hello everyone, my name is Alexander Leonov, and this is In the Trend of VM. In this episode, we'll review October 2024 noteworthy vulnerabilities and examine crucial Linux news affecting global IT landscape. I will also talk about cases of social engineering and the vulnerability management process. Let's start with trending vulnerabilities. There were 4 of them in October, and 3 of them were in Microsoft products. The elevation of privilege in Microsoft streaming service. The vulnerability was fixed as part of the June Microsoft Patch Tuesday. At that time, no one highlighted this vulnerability. The vulnerability was discovered by a researcher with the nickname Angel Boy from the DevCore company. The details are described in a series of his posts published on August 23 and October 5. The vulnerability affects the kernel streaming framework, which is responsible for processing stream data. It is used, for example, when the system needs to read data from your microphones or webcams into RAM. This framework works mainly in kernel mode. On October 5th, Angel Boy posted a video demonstrating exploitation of this vulnerability for obtaining an interactive console with system privileges. An attacker with such privileges can steal critical data from the device, exercise hidden control over it, and also carry out attacks on other devices on the network. On October 17, a researcher with the nickname Do Rootkit released a POC of the exploit on GitHub. Updates are available for Windows 10 and 11 and Windows Server from 2008 to 2022. The elevation of privilege in Windows kernel mode driver. This vulnerability was fixed as part of the June Microsoft Patch Tuesday. As with the previous vulnerability, it was discovered by a researcher with the nickname Angel Boy from DevCore. And it also affects the kernel streaming framework, and specifically its core component, the KSys driver. Angel Boy wrote about this vulnerability in a post on August 23. On October 13, a POC of the exploit, released by user Varwara, appeared on GitHub. The repository also contains a video demonstrating the launch of the exploit and obtaining system privileges. Updates are available for Windows 10 and 11 and Windows Server from 2008 to 2022. The spoofing in Windows MS-HTML platform. What is known about this vulnerability from the October Microsoft Patch Tuesday? In fact, just that it is being exploited in the wild. There are no write-ups or public exploits yet. The acknowledgments section in the Microsoft Bulletin is empty. It is not clear who reported it and from whom we can expect details. ZDI suggested that this could be an additional fix for a similar July vulnerability, spoofing in Windows MS-HTML platform CVE 2024-38-112. The vulnerability type and component are the same. The July vulnerability was about .url file handling and was exploited by the apt group Void Banshee to install the Atlantida Stealer malware. Attackers may have bypassed the initial fix, prompting Microsoft to release a new patch. So far, this is only an assumption, but the vulnerability shouldn't be ignored despite its low CVSS-based score 6.5. And we'll finish with the only non-Microsoft vulnerability, the remote code execution in XWiki platform. XWiki is a free open-source wiki platform. Its main feature is simplified extensibility. XWiki is often used in corporate environments as a replacement for commercial wiki solutions such as Atlassian Confluence. A vulnerability with CVSS-based score 10, published on April 10th, allows attackers to execute arbitrary code via queries in the XWiki database search interface. This interface is available to all users by default and complements the regular XWiki search. If it is not needed, it can be disabled by removing the main.database search page. The vulnerability is fixed in XWiki versions 14.10.20, 15.5.4, and 15.10 RC1. An exploit POC was provided by XWiki developers in their vulnerability bulletin. Functional scripts for exploiting this vulnerability have been available on GitHub since June 22. If your organization uses XWiki, be sure to pay attention. On October 18th, the drama began. 11 Russian developers were removed from the list of Linux kernel stable branch maintainers. Actually, nothing new. After the incident with Baikal Electronics, it was clear that it would be difficult for Russian organizations to contribute to the Linux kernel. In Russia, the Ministry of Digital Development has come up with a proposal to create its own Linux community. This could solve the problem of new malicious backdoors and would give Russian developers the opportunity to contribute to the main branch of the new kernel. And Russian OS vendors could switch to this new kernel relatively painlessly. Let's look at a type of social engineering attack that I call the attack on the complainer. Let's say you ordered a product or service from some organization, marketplace, online store, service center, it doesn't matter, and something went wrong. The product was not delivered, or the service was not provided, or the quality was not good enough. It's quite natural to find the official community of this organization on a social network and write a complaint. Communication with the support team is good, but with some public stimulation it's even better, right? Only since the complaint is public, it can be read not only by the organization's employees, but also by attackers. They can write to you in a private message, posing as a representative of the organization, and promise to resolve all issues. Attackers usually offer: go to the website, a phishing one, fill out the form with personal and card data. Enter SMS code 2FA from Government Services website. Download and run the helper application, malware. There can be many attack scenarios, and there is only one way to resist them: vigilance. There is a popular story in the Russian segment of the internet. Allegedly, an experiment was carried out at Henry Ford's plant. Conveyor repair workers were paid only for the time they were in the break room. And as soon as the conveyor stopped and the repair workers went to fix it, they stopped getting paid. Therefore, they did their work quickly and efficiently, so that they could quickly and for a long time return to the break room and start earning money again. I did not find any reliable evidence of this, so I don't think such an experiment was actually conducted. This is fiction. But what if the specialists responsible for vulnerability remediation were paid only for the time when vulnerabilities are not detected on their hosts? This can have a very positive impact on the speed and quality of remediation. Unsolvable problems will quickly become solvable, and automation of testing and deployment of updates will develop at the fastest pace. Let's look at possible objections. IT staff will sabotage the vulnerability detection process by tweaking host configs so that the scanner will produce only green reports. But IT staff can do this at any time, and we need to take this into account. IT staff will simply turn off hosts. If they can do this without harming the business, that's great. And if this will break the production environment, then let them deal with their IT management. That's all. Read more about these vulnerabilities in our October digest of trending vulnerabilities and in the post on Haber. Links are in the QR code and in the description. This was Alexander Leonov. Write your impressions of the episode in the comments. We are also waiting for your questions on the topic of vulnerability management. We will answer the best questions in the next episodes of In the Trend of VM and give cool gifts for them. See you in a month. Bye, everyone. If I drink from it, the water will decrease. And with public stimulation, it's better. It's better, right? Right? Can you wink? I can't wink. It would look like a stroke with both eyes. I am against such backstage. It's creepy. Keeping you up at night. Need a helping hand to set things right. Scan this QR code, it's quick and easy. See, join the AVE on your content like Grand Channel family. Vulnerability management and so much more. VM news, tool reviews, and another